we have a story about Revolve, which I almost called Evolve. And this is a very special story because we have this article is from timcast.com. And I'm like, who's that wrote it?
Who is that person that wrote it?
I can't tell. Who's Mary Morgan?
You wrote this one? Nice.
I did, yeah.
Team. I didn't realize that.
So what's going to happen
came up
here?
on the back
without
end.
glasses wrote this.
It came up on the back end as Chris Carr, and I was like, oh, cool. Chris Carr's on the show sometimes.
So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to attempt to capture Mary's essence while reading, and then eventually I will.
Why don't you just have Mary read her own article?
I asked if she wanted me
to
try
to capture the snark?
I don't think I'm capable of capturing the snark, so I think I'll let you read it.
Okay,
so go ahead.
Fast fashion retailer Revolve threw an exclusive Coachella-adjacent festival at the Merv Griffin Estate in La Quinta, California, for influencers the likes of Kendall Jenner, Post Malone, Jack Harlow, and Kim Kardashian over the weekend. The celebrity shindig, full of luxury goodie bags and Instagram-worthy backdrops, quickly turned into humanitarian disaster as a logistical mishap left a large portion of the star-studded guest lineup baking in the desert sun without food or water.
Baking they were.
As agitated ticket holders awaited few and far between shuttles to the event, under increasingly dire conditions, psychological breakdowns and wild fights ensued in a crescendo of chaos, reminiscent of Lord of the Flies.
So basically, does anybody remember Firefest? This is our very own influencer version of Firefest. It's
now being dubbed Fire 2.0.
Firefest 2.0. So Revolve is who owns that one again? Who owns Revolve, the clothing company?
I don't know.
It doesn't have a parent company. It's just its own.
It wasn't one of the
retailer.
Jenners that it wasn't.
No. It's an independent.
Okay.
No, but they were promoting Kendall Jenner's tequila
brand. Okay, that's what I was thinking of.
They partner with a lot. I mean, like it's pretty popular and trendy right now. They get. I know Vogue links to them all the time. So do most fashion magazines.
Okay, so
so they were holding their fests like 5 minutes away from Coachella, so that's why they thought it was an opportune time to invite a bunch of influencers over. And they overbooked the event by 1,000 people or something.
Accidental.
It was
TanaCon 2.0.
Obviously, the VIP guests did not have to pay for tickets, but everyone else paid for $2,000 tickets to go to this, and then they didn't get in because of capacity or something.
Why would you spend
some
$2,000
BS
on
excuse.
this?
I don't know. I guess if you
tickets?
have $2,000 to just throw around on anything, but you're not relevant enough to get invited to it.
Trying to launch your influencer career.
Yeah, you're rubbing elbows.
Yeah, it's all about networking, right?
Yeah.
Well, and
You
also
just
being
can't
able to
get into the
pretend like
venue.
you got invited. You're like,
Right.
thanks, Revolve, and Revolve is like, no, you paid us.
Yeah. You
that's-
also get the goodie bags though, the gift suites.
Do we think that the goodie bags were worth more than $2,000?
I don't know. I mean, you get a lot of free clothes from Revolve, so.
Is Revolve popular right now? Is it
Yeah.
that they are? Okay. So it says designated VIP guests made it in time for photos by a stroke of good luck, of course. The statement concluded with the sincerest apologies to those impacted and a commitment to always strive to provide a great experience and do better. You can no longer say do better in a tone other than that. I think we had a segment on here recently where I said do better.
Those words are just dead.
Yes.
They're dead to me.
They are. So this was so it was Avery Bishop, right? Who I don't know. She's a TikToker.
She's a TikToker. I didn't know her before this either, but she was there and she witnessed the catastrophe go down in person.
She said that the logistics were getting out of control and guests attempted to violently rush the shuttles.
There was pushing, shoving, shouting, yanking people in front of the buses, people standing in between the buses while they were moving.
Oh, by the way, tell everybody how far away that this bus had to travel.
This was a mile away from the venue. They were standing in an empty parking lot for hours. When they could have just walked
1 mile. How
literally
long?
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
These heels
15
ain't
at
made.
most.
These
But
heels ain't
they
made
were
for
wearing their
walking.
stilettos, so I don't think
And
that
no one
they
could take their
walk
shoes
that
off. That would be
distance.
crazy.
No, yeah.
So I think that might be my favorite part. All it's missing is a plain ham sandwich on a plain white plate.
We were joking about like Kim Kardashian in the parking lot eating like a cheese sandwich with a mini water bottle, just like crouching down.
Wild.
As the festival was reaching capacity late Saturday afternoon, shuttle access to the venue was limited in order to remain in compliance with safety requirements. It just feels like really bad planning to me.
Yeah, I think people don't realize that it is difficult to plan large-scale events, and
Yeah, don't
Revolve
say.
is a
But then
fashion
it's just
company.
like have enough people, have enough employees,
Yes,
have
but, like,
competent employees.
I think
right.
that's what I'm saying. Like, I think because they are a fashion brand, their marketing team is like, we can put together
Yeah.
an event. And like, if you've worked with any serious event planners, I don't know if either of you have. I haven't. Like, I used to work in fundraising and a couple other jobs that like had large scale events, and it is like no joke planning logistics for tens of thousands of people or several hundred people. You know, I think a lot of people are talented and can like adapt to this, but like it just sounds like they were like, well, we'll leave it open because, you know, whoever comes and people will come and go, and like they just had no experience planning. Is this the first one? The first Revolve Fest?
No, it's annual. Yeah, like I
So
can't,
whoever
like,
the new person in charge was
and
getting
also,
fired.
Well, Coachella was canceled in 2020 and reduced capacity, if at all.
Yeah, they
in
started the
2021.
Revolve Fest in 2015, I believe. So then they must have stopped with COVID.
And I feel like Revolve has gotten bigger in the past couple years. I mean, I really think that
then they just hired a bunch of people who hadn't done this before,
and
then it turned out
I
like
think
this.
I don't know what the numbers are on Coachella, but it's like the first full year back, from what I understand. Like maybe they didn't realize how many people would be willing to come, because it's, you know, I'm not saying
They
it's an
oversold
excuse, but
by
like,
a lot.
It's just ridiculous.
There's one more part from your article that we're going to use to lead into the Daily Mail one, which it says, on Twitter, users quipped, the Revolve Fest stories are giving me life. The amount of deflated influencer egos after the weekend. LOL. So
You gotta love it.
Yes, you like, I kind of feel bad for them because, you know,
No.
like, it's, you
I
know-
feel bad for the people. Well, I sort of feel bad for the people who spent $2,000, although you should have pulled it together and been like, this is too much for this kind of event.
But they were gonna rub elbows with Kim K. You don't get it. Like
I don't. I
it's
really don't get
once
it.
in a lifetime opportunity.
And Kim K will notice you and fall in love with you.
And I'm sure all the business cards you hand out will totally net you calls from those celebrities.
As a
down the
professional
line.
TikToker, do you have business cards? Is that something?
No, but maybe one day.
That would be a
And
good idea.
I'll go to Revolve Fest and hand them out.
Well, I mean, that would be something that Gen Z would do. They'd be like, let's bring back something really vintage, like business cards.
I saw this tweet the other day that was like, two girls asked me if they could take a picture, if I could take a picture of them, and I said sure. And then they very carefully explained to me how to use a disposable digital camera, and I was like, I was here when this dark magic was invented. Like that's what I feel
You
like.
must have thought you were a Zoomer then.
It wasn't me. It was like a tweet. I don't interact with people
Oh.
outside this office, but no, I think that like this whole thing is like a level of unprofessionalism on Revolve's part. I mean, I think the clear thing is like they clearly knew there was a capacity because that's why they limited shuttles, right? And yet they somehow failed to restrict their ticket sales.
Yeah.
And, you know, sometimes people will oversell by a certain percentage tickets because they expect some people not to show up. But in this case, like,
But not to this degree.
it just seems like
Yeah.
completely inept. Whoever's behind this, I don't like to advocate for this, but maybe should get fired.
or give her a different job. Like, is there like an overbooking department you could hire them for?
I don't know.
So it says, does anybody feel sorry for them? Probably not. Whining influencers mocked online after star-studded $2,000 a ticket Revolve Festival descends into Hunger Games style chaos when shuttles go awry. So it's just got a bunch of tweets.
I will say I feel like Fry Fest was worse than this. Weren't they like on an island?
Oh yeah, it was worse. And TanaCon was worse.
Astroworld
Astroworld
is
is obviously
way
worse.
worse.
Yeah.
It's just kind of crazy that like anyone of the influencers, I don't know. I don't understand why this event would be fun to go to in some respects too, because like
Networking.
Coachella is like the music and stuff. Like they're going to what? Take a bunch of pictures and then
Yeah, it's mainly photo ops. And,
okay.
like,
And that's,
getting-
I guess, part of your career if you're an influencer. Like, I get that. I just like, well, if you're unhappy there, you walk the mile back. Like, I guess that's the real clincher. Like, it's not like they were on an island or 12 miles from the nearest city or whatever. Like, they could have,
literally just call an Uber.
yeah.
Yeah.
I also had no idea that Firefest was spelled with a Y. I didn't know that.
Are you 100 years
Well,
old?
now
No,
you
just kidding.
know.
Fire
Now you
Festival.
know, Brad.
Why didn't they call an Uber? These people have money, I'm sure.
But they were hoping against hope that they would get on one of those shuttles.
Because the
and
shuttles were
make it.
super cool, I heard. They looked exactly just like buses.
Influencers dubbed Revolve Festival Firefest 2.0 following chaos on Coachella weekend. What a pity. Does anybody feel sorry for them? Probably not. Might buy something from Revolve just because they made a bunch of influencers stand outside for 6 hours. Current favorite activity is seeing all the Revolve Festival girlies' dreamy curated content and then going to their spam to get the tea on how they really feel. No idea what Revolve Festival is, but I see the phrase influences stranded, and I need to know everything. It's sad but fascinating that the influencers here spend their time looking like they have a good time, but instead of actually having a good time, that's exactly what their job is. Their job is to... There was an article that I was looking at today. It wasn't really super relevant, but it was about how Tekashi 6ix9ine was like talking to a judge about like how he's broke, and he's like, the money in my videos is fake. Like when
Is he actually broke?
He says he's broke. I don't know if he actually is.
By
But,
what standard?
but he's like well, like when we make the music videos where I'm throwing money around, it's not real money. It's fake money.
That seems
Yeah, dude.
realistic, though, actually.
Well, yeah, that's I don't know if he would have access to like a prop department with fake money, but
You can order fake money on Amazon.
But I do love the idea that that's really what being an influencer is. Like we saw that
It is
earlier.
about appearing to have a good time.
Yeah, you can't actually you're too busy making sure it looks like you have a good time to actually have a good time. That would be less organic. It would be more organic, but less camera friendly.
Yeah.
Because if you were actually having a good time, you wouldn't need to record it and use it for influence.
I
You would
know
just...
that there are even people who get hired to attend parties and act like they got invited there and have a good time.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's the
It's just
handsome
like
person at a party
commonplace thing there. And also like now non-influencers are just imitating it.
Yep. Hopefully that it will manifest influencer status on them. But the people who get hired at parties, like they'll like a lot of times they'll be hired at like when they're doing like silent auctions and they encourage people to bid on stuff like that. That's like a job for people at those agencies. So all I can say is that I am very glad that I was not at Revolve.
What?
I don't want
You
to.
did not want to be at Revolve Fest?
Handing out pop culture crisis business
Yeah, I'm
cards.
sorry. Do you not like our podcast?
That's a fantastic idea. That's a fantastic idea.
What if
Are
you
guys...
like made a fest for whatever? Like we do a crisis fest, and then it's actually the
Right.
crisis.
It's just actually a crisis.
Yeah.
Like we're actually
and then we're on
dying.
brand. If it goes smoothly, good. But if there's something
Great,
that goes
yeah.
wrong, we're
Remember-
okay. Really, they just picked the wrong.
We're not
thing.
in a pop culture crisis anymore.
They
We're in a humanitarian crisis.
They should have had a revolving door at the beginning and be like, you gotta go in and get out. Everyone has to
Oh,
keep
I
moving.
love that
keep
gimmick.
the crowd. Yeah,
Yeah.
They just didn't think about it properly to be able to give themselves any deniability. Like, come
Yeah.
on, Revolve.
Yeah.
I'm here to be hired as your marketing crisis manager.
What's up, my crisis actors? that's what fans of this show are called, crisis actors.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
No, that's what I call them. I don't.
No,
that's-
I want to call them that too. I
Yes.
think it's cool.
Wait,
that-
you just presented to me like it was real. That's,
no, it's not
No,
a
it
real
is
thing.
real.
I mean,
if that's what you call them, how is it not real?
because nobody
As you
actually
have
says
reminded
that.
me
It's real
repeatedly.
according to us.
This
and
is
that's all
my
that matters.
In my mind, it is real. So if you are a fan of the show, you are officially a crisis actor.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
set in stone
That is
right
so
here and now.
funny.
Let it be known.
Yes.
That,
Brett's like, that's what I call them. I was like, well, this is your podcast. So if you
Yeah.
I don't really
that-
call them that. I just said it'd be clever if that's what they were called.
I
but,
do.
If
In my mind, I've been calling them that for months, says Brett. But
Yes.
it's not real. But it seems real.
I'm being more tepid about it than I should be. Yes, you are all.
Brett's scared that you guys will not like his name. So if you like the name Crisis,
No, I know they'll like the name. The name is fantastic.
Yeah. Comment 1 if you want to be a crisis actor, and
if
then
you
2
don't
if you
comment at all.
Okay, if you don't, then block us.
That's like all those pages, like for.
if you don't like it, just go ahead and send us some money via Patreon. I'll set up privately.
Yes.
I'm just kidding.
it's
I
always-
like it. Crisis actors.
It's like all those pages, like for so and so and ignore for this person. So like it's like emotionally blackmailing you into liking a post because like, oh, I hate that person. That's the second name. I'm not going to leave it alone. So yes,
Do you guys dislike things on channels? I feel like I don't do that.
I've never. I don't know if I've ever hit.
They removed dislikes, so what does it matter anymore?
From
Yeah.
what platform? From YouTube?
From YouTube, yeah. And I disliked every YouTube rewind, but that was pretty much it.
Well, that's just acting on
That's
principle.
excusable, yeah.
Yeah, you're just acting.
We were
on
fighting the
principle
good
there.
fight.
Yep. That's nobody liked the rewind. That's why they abandoned it.
Hey, did you get your TikTok back? I forgot to ask.
Haven't gotten it back yet. Submitted an appeal. I don't know if it's gonna work, but we're trying here.
If you guys, for those who are listening, if you could see the sadness on her face right now,
Yeah.
it's just very
kind
sad.
of a hopeless cause.
It's a humanitarian crisis to
it is a humanitarian crisis.
A Gen Z TikToker who's no longer allowed to TikTok. Like, I just don't understand.
Let me TikTok.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know what the verbiage for your profession is, but I like being able to say the word TikTok.
One who
as
TikToks.
the
both a
syntax
noun,
of
an adverb.
TikToker means that TikTok is a verb. So
What is a TikTok?
Well, it's like
one who TikToks.
yes,
Yeah.
I TikTok.
Like, it's
let me TikTok.
it's beyond just like you create TikTok.
That's my
content.
vocation.
Yeah, TikToking is a lifestyle as well as
And not
an
everyone
idea.
has to understand it, but that's who I am.
It's my
Sometimes
art.
I want to be like, Mary, teach me how to TikTok, and then other times I feel like if I say that out loud, I'm 100 years old. Also,
I think
I'm
you
not
just
very-
became 100 years old just by saying it
you
out loud.
didn't.
Also, I'm not very like consistent on my social media platforms, so I probably should master the ones I have before I branch
Yeah.
out into new things.
You're trying to move to an advanced level. You're
Start
double
with
black.
Instagram, then you can graduate to TikTok.
Yeah.
Eventually.
You're trying to go from Bunny Hill to Double Black Diamond. That doesn't work.
The thing is, I want to use social media in an effective way and also never give out any personal information. So it's sort of struggle.
It's possible. It is possible.
Okay.
Well, you should teach a course.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's coming soon, everyone.
Thanks for watching this clip, guys. If you want to see full episodes or follow us on social media, links are in the description below. Bye.
Bye.